Boys, this Saturday, UFC 310. Pantoja taking on the newcomer Asakura. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I've been saying this for a few videos now. This shit is so far pre-recorded, it's insane. So if you guys are wondering why the bout order is a little bit different, this is recorded way ahead of time. You know, I've been saying it for a few videos now. Your boy is gonna be out of town for a little bit, so I gotta stock up on some videos. The past, I think, 2 weeks worth of videos all been made in the past few days. So, you know, show some respect, help your boy out. I'm not like these other MMA YouTubers who just leave you guys dry with no content. I got you guys. I have some content here. With that being said, we're going to run through every single fight on this card. You know, like I said, this is recorded way ahead of time, so bout arrangement might be a little bit different. We might have some canceled fights, some added fights. We don't know right about now. But with that being said, starting off UFC 310. Before we even begin, this card is so stacked. You know, this is one of the best UFC pay-per-views of the year. And like the main event and co-main event aren't anything special. You know, we had some double belt headliners. This one don't even need that. With that being said, flyweight division, Cody Durden taking on Joshua Van. A very fun matchup here. All the fights on this card super fun. But Cody Durden, he's a good wrestler. You know, that boy loves to use his overhand to set up a takedown, has good control, good BJJ, and you know, he does have some good scrambles here and there, but his main weapon in his arsenal is that wrestling, where Joshua Van, he's a very good boxer. You know, he has an okay chin. He used to have a really good chin until it got cracked by Charles Johnson, and ever since then, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared to see if his chin is the same. You know, it might not look like it right now, but the shots that he was taking on that Charles Johnson fight, he got cracked multiple times and put out cold. I'm not fully on that Joshua Van hype train like some of these other guys, but I do think he's going to be a fairly highly ranked flyweight. With that being said, he looked really good in his last fight. It was on short notice. He still got dropped, but he came back and had a really impressive win. He has some good speed, good pressure. He works to the body really well and just has a lot of diversity in his striking. He also has good takedown defense and scrambles too, so when he does get taken down by Cody Durden, because I do think that's going to happen, I do think he'll be able to scramble and get his way back up. With that being said, I'm going Joshua Van by KO. Joshua Van is just light years ahead of Cody Durden in the striking department. Like I said, when he does get taken down, I think Joshua Van can make his way back up. So with that being said, give me a late second round KO win for Joshua Van. Let's go down to that lightweight division. Clay Guida, Chase Hooper, another good fun matchup. And to be honest, there's a world where Clay Guida gets the upset here. Do I think that happens? Not necessarily, but don't count out Clay Guida. Clay Guida, a very experienced vet in the UFC. He has good cardio and a non-stop pressure, and in the past, he has broken people with his just cardio and non-stop pressure before. However, he's way past his prime. 43 years old, but he looks good for a 43-year-old. But, you know, at 43, it doesn't take much to notice a huge drop-off. You know, one fight he could look good, next fight insane drop-off, and it doesn't even look like the same fighter. We might see that here. It doesn't take much to see a drop-off when you're a 43-year-old lightweight. Chase Hooper, on the other hand, one of the younger guys in the UFC, He's been improving nonstop and has looked 10 times better ever since he's gone up to lightweight. And now, since he's in lightweight, he actually has some power in his hands. Not only that, he got that extra dad strength to go along with it, but his specialty is take it to the ground, get some ground and pound here, or get a submission. And you know, a key thing in this fight and in a lot of fights moving forward in this fight card, and I'm going to say it a lot, Chase Hooper has that momentum. Keyword momentum from his last fight. I think Chase got this. I'm going to go submission win for Chase Hooper. Second round, he's going to get Clay Guida on the ground. Clay Guida is going to try to explode, do some scrambles, and lose a position, get his back taken. Rear naked choke second round. That's what I'm predicting. Let's go down to this welterweight division. A pretty mid fight. Michael Chiesa, Max Griffin. Michael Chiesa, you know, he's fairly big for this welterweight division at times. At times it just looks like he's an old shriveled up man, but sometimes he just looks bigger than all the other guys in here. It's a very weird thing that happens, and I honestly don't understand how, but he has some good BJJ grappling, but this dude has some garbage striking. At the end of the day, I say this in every single fight card, every single pay-per-view, we got a battle of the unks here, and this is a battle of the unks. Next one after is also a battle of the unks. We got 2 battle of the unks in one card. We're blessed. But with that being said, both these guys way past their prime. Chiesa is very inactive, and honestly, it seems like he's not as dedicated as what he was before in the fight game anymore. Where Max Griffin, he's well-rounded, has good pressure, good scrambles, good takedown defense, and this is like a 50-50 type of fight. But if Max Griffin wasn't almost 40 years old, I would be very confident in him beating Chiesa, but I think he's going to win this fight. Am I super confident on this? No, I can see Chiesa getting it done, but I'm going 29-28 decision win Max Griffin. Let's go down catchweight bout, Chris Weidman, Eryk Anders. Same prediction for the last pay-per-view. You know, for UFC 309, nothing's changed. Yes, they're going to have to cut weight again, but it's a catchweight fight, so it's not going to be as dramatic. Both of these guys are on a very similar career path at this point, both in past their prime, battle of the unks, and they've looked relatively the same performance-wise, but Chris Weidman has the edge, and that edge in this fight is cheating. So because of that, you have to give him the edge in this fight. I'm going 29-28 split decision, Chris Weidman. If there was absolutely no cheating involved, I think Eryk Anders has looked a little bit better than Chris Weidman as of late, so I'd probably pick him, but because of the cheating, gotta go with Chris Weidman. Let's go down to these prelims now. Prelims, featherweight division. This is a violation at the highest order. Featherweight division, Movsar Evloev taking on Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling, a former bantamweight champion and was in talks of being the greatest bantamweight of all time. Now that boy's on the opener of the prelims. Crazy. Again, bout orders could change, but this is what I have right now. Evloev, he's a very well-rounded fighter, but the grappling and controlling pressure is definitely his specialty. He has good cardio, good scrambles. He's fairly strong for the division. And on the feet, this dude is just way better than Aljo. Miles better than Aljo on the feet. Aljo, on the other hand, he's a very strong, powerful, pressure-heavy wrestler with, okay striking. It's nothing that great, but he has good control, and once he gets you down, he's hunting for submissions, hunting for ground and pound work, but he's also not one of these fighters who will go submission over position. He has good fight IQ, and he's won the bantamweight belt. When he won the bantamweight belt, it was because of the fight IQ and a little bit of the acting, but mainly the fight IQ. Fight IQ, he knew that if he just pretended like he was hella concussed, he was gaining that belt. So good fight IQ for Aljo. With a new rule, it might be a slight negative effect for Aljo's game plan because he used to abuse that rule. With that being said, I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue. He's probably changing that already in the gym, I don't think it's going to be the biggest change in the world for Aljo. And I don't know what it is, but for some reason, I think Aljo is going to actually pull this off. And it makes no sense because Movsar should get this one done. But for some reason, I knew Aljo was going to get it done in the second fight over Peter Yan. He got it done. I'm having the exact same feeling. I have no idea what it is. I don't know how to describe it, but I got Aljo 29-28, and I don't think it's going to be robbery. I think it's going to be fairly concise 29-28 decision win. Aljamain Sterling taking the O from Movsar Evloev. And yeah, I don't know what's happening. I think it's going to be probably another boring fight. We can never count on Aljo having a fun fight, especially after UFC 300. Having $300,000 on the line as a bonus, you would think he would do something special, try to be a little bit more entertaining. Nope. So don't count on him being entertaining in this fight. It's probably not going to happen. Let's go down to welterweight division though. A banger of a fight. Randy Brown taking on Bryan battle. This is a really big and important fight for both of these guys moving forward in their career. Randy Brown, a very tall, long, and a good striker with good ground game. He's fairly well-rounded. He has good takedown defense as well, where Bryan Battle, plain as day, has been making huge improvements every single time we've seen him in the octagon. He's good. He's well-rounded. He has good speed, good power, good kicks as well. And this dude has that dog in him. Bryan Battle, one of the fighters that you can 100% say has that dog in him, and he'll never quit on himself. However, with that being said, this shit's like a 50-50 type of fight. I don't know who's gonna win. I know this is gonna be a stupidly fun matchup. I don't think anyone's getting finished in this fight, but I think I'm gonna go Bryan Battle because, again, the key word I've been saying, momentum. He has the momentum moving forward from that Paris card, and I think the momentum's gonna help him. He's just been getting better and better after every single time we've seen him. Bryan Battle, 29-28 decision win. Let's go down. The main event on these prelims, light heavyweight division, Dominick Reyes taking on Anthony Smith. Now, Dominick Reyes finally coming off a win after a huge KO losing streak, and Dominick Reyes, one of the what-if fighters of the UFC. It is what it is. His career has played out the way it has. He's fairly well-rounded, but you always have to be concerned about his chin. Coming into any fight, you have to be concerned about the chin, where Anthony Smith, he's a win one, lose one type of fighter. He's currently coming off a loss, so that just means, by the laws of the universe, he's destined for another win, right? Because he's coming off a loss. That means this one's going to win. Regardless, both these dudes past their prime, but on paper, Anthony Smith is technically, if you really think about it, on paper, put everything into consideration, Anthony Smith is the best MMA fighter to ever do it, walking the face of the earth right now. However, he's coming off a Roman Dolidze fight, and Anthony Smith is just not him anymore. I don't think I'll ever pick him to win any fight after that Roman Dolidze fight. He's just not him anymore. I'm going Dominick Reyes by KO. Dominick Reyes, maybe second round KO, left hand KO, you know what I mean? I don't think Smith is gonna show too much problems for Dominick Reyes, and I think Smith is one of the worst fighters that Dominick Reyes has fought recently. Is it too far-fetched to say that Dustin Jacoby, the guy that Dominick Reyes just knocked out, is it too far-fetched to say that Dustin knocks out or even beats Anthony Smith on the decision? I don't think it is. So because of that, give me Dominick Reyes second round KO. Let's go down to the main card now. Featherweight division. We got Nate Landwehr taking on Dooho Choi. Now, Nate Landwehr, he's a very high pressure wrestler with good cardio, good output. And just like Clay Guida, he has been known to break fighters just with his non-stop pressure, aggression, and cardio alone. He also has some good power, but this dude can get very sloppy very quickly. And because of that, he can get countered really easily. Again, one of these 50-50 type of fights, but Nate Landwehr, he's a dog when he starts hearing the crowd, and he thrives off the crowd. Dooho Choi, on the other hand, he's fairly well-rounded. He's really good on the feet technically, good takedown defense, but his main weapon is obviously his stand-up. He can also be lured into a brawl here and there. He's coming off a KO win, and like I said, going off momentum, you would think I'm going to pick Dooho Choi coming off a KO win, but momentum-wise, Nate Landwehr has been looking really, really good as of recently. It's a 50-50 type of fight. I think Nate has the power to KO Choi, but again, if they get into a brawl, Dooho Choi definitely has the technique to counter someone like a Nate Landwehr and put him out. It's a 50-50 type of fight. I'm going with Nate the Train Landwehr by a third round war TKO. Let's keep moving down to that featherweight division as well. Bryce Mitchell coming back, taking on Kron Gracie. Now, Bryce Mitchell, like I said, he's coming back after that crazy KO that KO could 100% change Bryce Mitchell forever, and we might never see the same Bryce that we saw before. Not only did his chin get cracked, it didn't get cracked, it got literally incinerated. That boy was doing some dancing moves on the ground, you know what I mean? It's sad to say, but I don't know if the same Bryce Mitchell ever shows up. He has decent hands, but primarily a wrestler. He wants to get things to the ground, to do some ground and pound work, and or get a submission, where Kron Gracie, a extremely inactive fighter, he has good BJJ, but absolute garbaggio on the feet. I honestly think if we did strictly boxing, I could teach my 7-year-old nephew to knock out Kron Gracie. That's just how bad he is on the feet. And not even on the feet, he even struggles to get shit to the ground as well. So he's 36 years old. I'm hoping Bryce Mitchell, I hope we still see Bryce Mitchell, even with, an incinerated chin. I think Bryce Mitchell's better practically everywhere, to be honest. I think Bryce Mitchell's getting this done. I think Bryce Mitchell's going to go in here, probably crack Kron Gracie on the feet. Ground and pound victory, round number 2. Praying for my boy Bryce Mitchell. I hope he goes crazy as well. I hope this boy runs inside the octagon with a cross on his back or something, or like Diego Lopez just running with a cross in his hand, yelling Jesus or something like that. I hope we get some crazy Bryce Mitchell moments. Let's go down to that heavyweight division. I believe this is the featured fight. Ciryl Gane taking on Alexandre Volkov. Ciryl Gane, a perfect example of how pure skill isn't enough at the highest level. Ciryl Gane might have one of the worst worth ethics in recent MMA memory, in my opinion. His commitment to MMA is non-existent anymore. He hasn't fought in over a year. He'd rather be a movie star. He has good striking, good shot selection, good footwork, garbage on the ground though. Where Volkov, tall for the division, has good fight IQ, very well rounded. Momentum is key. He has on a 4-fight win streak, and it has looked like he's on a second run in this division, to be honest. Not only that, he's very durable, and not only the durability, but also in the last few fights, he's looked stronger than ever, fight IQ better than ever. He has the power and the skill to take this shit to the ground if he wants. And like I've been saying, momentum is key. I'm going with Volkov with the upset win. I don't know who can confidently pick Ciryl Gane. I think the people that are picking Ciryl Gane are only picking him because of, they fought the first time and Ciryl Gane won that shit. It's completely different now. Ciryl Gane is not the same guy who fought Volkov the first time. And same thing with Volkov. Because of that, momentum is key. Give me Volkov by 30-27 decision. I don't think Ciryl Gane's going to have any success in this fight. Now watch. This is going to age so poorly when Gane knocks his ass out in the first round. But with that being said, co-main event time, welterweight division, 5-rounder, Shavkat Rakhmonov taking on Garry, battle of the undefeateds. This is one of the best fights we could have made in this welterweight division, and just one of the best fights in general for a co-main event without a belt. Like, this shit doesn't even need a interim belt. It's that good of a fight. Shavkat, this dude has good fight IQ. He's very well rounded, 100% finish rate, so he knows how to find the finishing shots. Where some of these other guys, they're not the greatest finishers. Where Shavkat, complete opposite. He has good power, good takedown defense, good takedowns in general, good submission threats, and he's one of the most dangerous welterweights on the ground. Not just welterweight in the entire UFC, and on the feet, he can be convinced into going into some brawls here and there, and he can get countered. It's shown in his last few fights. If he goes into some brawls, he gets sloppy as hell, and Garry might be able to get him to do that. But Garry, he's beaten the better opponent so far than Shavkat, in my opinion. He also has good fight IQ. He's very well rounded as well, but this is a short notice fight. I know it's not that crazy of a short notice regardless. It's not really the timing that concerns me. It's the fact that this dude was supposed to fight Joaquin Buckley, and now he's fighting Shavkat Rakhmonov. It's a huge step up, and he has good striking, good diverse strikes, good accuracy, but I've noticed this dude struggles with pressure, and Shavkat honestly has good pressure and a very intimidating guy. I know it's a 5-round fight. I don't think either of these dudes have gone 5 rounds. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's happened. I'm seeing Shavkat a very heavy pressure forward approach to this fight. I don't think it's going all 5 rounds, and I think Shavkat keeps his 100% finish rate. I just don't know how, though. I think we might see a ground and pound TKO win. I don't know if he'll be able to submit Garry. It's very possible. I just think on the ground, Shavkat is a menace, and I think he'll be able to go pressure forward, piece up Garry on the feet, because he doesn't do well on the back foot. Shoot for a takedown, get that takedown. He's a menace on the ground anyways. I think we see a TKO ground and pound win for Shavkat. I don't think it's going to take long, to be honest. Second round, I'll say late second round TKO win. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Let's go to this main event now. Flyweight division. Alexandre Pantoja taking on the newcomer Kai Asakura. Now, Pantoja, very, very well rounded. Has that dog in him, will march forward. Sometimes a bad thing to march forward because he doesn't have, sometimes that fight IQ isn't quite there for Pantoja, and he'll try to brawl instead of being technical. We saw in his last fight against Steve Eryk, the striking defense was thrown out the window, especially as the rounds go on, and because of that, he can be countered. As the striking defense gets thrown out the window, he can be countered. But he's beaten practically every high level flyweight multiple times, at least in this era. The only one that he's missing is Figueiredo. Figgy got the better of him in that fight, but other than that, he has a win over every high level flyweight multiple times, which is crazy. And the thing that worries me is he's taken a shit ton of damage in his last few fights, and he can be easily countered. So, and because of that, Kai Asakura, he's good, but it might be a weird transition period for him following the new UFC rules compared to Arisen, because that shit you can do knees to ground opponents, no problem. That being said, he's very well rounded. Of course, he shines on the feet. That's his specialty. He has good speed, accuracy, and power, but at the end of the day, this is a huge jump up in skill for Kai Asakura. And because of that, I think Pantoja is going to keep the belt. There's a possibility that Pantoja in the later rounds gets countered and knocked out. I can 100% see that happening, especially with all the damage he's taken as of recently. But the most logical outcome is Pantoja around second, third round finds that rear naked choke and gets that submission win. That's what I'm going with. Let me know in the comments below, who do you guys got for that main event and co-main event. Also, quickly look at this shit too, because 99% of you guys are still hoes. Help your boy out, get to 1,000 subscribers. I've been putting that work in, grinding, pumping out this content for you guys. The least you can do, help your boy out. And yeah, guys, there's really not that much else left to say, except for I will see you guys in my next video.